Because when we were together a couple weeks ago, you said, why the hell I ain't never had a Joe Rogan interview?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy, because in my head I can picture like a Joe Rogan thumbnail with Rampage right there.
No, I've never been on it.
But what did you ever have like any kind of weird interactions with Joe, or do you think it's just a coincidental thing?
We had one thing. Joe and I, we always been cool, right? But then after a couple of fights in the UFC, he noticed that I wasn't checking leg kicks and that I wasn't throwing a lot of leg kicks.
Okay.
So he got real voices about it. And with social media, I had a lot of MMA fans talking about, man, you don't know how to kick and you don't know how to check leg kicks. And I was like, man, it just got annoying, right? And they kept bringing it up. They watched all my fights. They kept bringing it up because I wasn't checking leg kicks. They didn't know that the guys in the UFC they wasn't kicking hard. And I'd rather take a kick and try to punch them. And when I try to kick somebody, they was desperate to try and take me down. They didn't want to stand up with me, so they didn't understand why I wasn't kicking. And when I didn't check leg kicks, if somebody was kicking hard, then I'd check them.
Right.
So I stepped to Joe like, Joe, man, why you saying all this shit about me not knowing how to kick and not checking leg kicks? I had to tell him about my fight when I was fighting in Japan. I was checking leg kicks all the time. Those guys over there, they just kicked harder for some reason when I was fighting in Pride. And we had like a few words and stuff. And I did say something kind of bad. I got tired of people constantly talking shit about me, so I tell them, watch the UFC, turn the volume down. I said, you'll get there'll be a different fight. Because the color commentators, you know how they started off with radio. They would paint the picture of the fight for you.
Right.
So Joe can be kind of biased sometimes, against like jiu-jitsu guys. He loved jiu-jitsu guys, and sometimes when I watch the fight, I'll turn it down a little bit, then I get a different, some view of the fight.
Because it's a lot of power that he has right there, because the average fan doesn't necessarily know everything that's going on.
Right.
And you could see it in the moment where the announcer sometimes up and say, oh, he just, kicked him he just broke his rib. He just kicked him in the midsection or something. And then you'll realize a few seconds later that isn't what happened.
Right.
And they'll correct it. But you'll also realize that if they hadn't corrected it, you in your brain as a person who's just watching, you would have gone with this wrong narrative and that just says a lot about how much the commentators have control over your brain.
Right. It's unfortunate, but it's a lot of new fans all the time. And the sport is constantly growing, and yeah, they don't know what's going on a lot of times when you're a new fan. And I thought me and Joe, we was cool after that talk we had, because I had already said all that stuff, like turn the volume down. I had already said everything before I talked to him. Then after we talked, so I was cool. He kind of got it. He apologized, and then, so I apologized, and then we was cool. But, it's all good. I never asked anybody to be on their show.
Right.
I was just wondering why he never, said, I'm like, damn, why Joe never invited me on the show?
I'm sure he's pretty all over the place at this point in terms of just because, he used to do a lot more MMA content, I think. And now he's got, a different doctor and comedian every week. I'm sure he feels like he kind of picks and chooses his MMA content, maybe.
Yeah, it makes sense. I watched some of his clips on TikTok or Instagram and stuff like that, and he has some pretty interesting guests on all the time.
Right, definitely. It was kind of crazy during the pandemic to see the media sort of decide that Joe Rogan was like the new Donald Trump, and that they were just going to try to turn him into like this Hitler-type character that make everybody hate him.
Yeah, they were trying to cancel him for a second, though, wasn't they?
Yeah, it got pretty intense there for a while. It feels like they kind of gave up.
Yeah, but I think that I think he proved himself. Well, he was taking ivermectin, and they were trying to say, "Oh, that's horse deworm." Yeah, I remember. I was laughing because I agree with Joe Rogan, because I knew about ivermectin before Joe Rogan talked about it.
Okay.
I had just got lucky. One of my close friends had an assistant from a different country, I think Dominican or somewhere in South America.
Okay.
And she said that years ago when she was a girl, like, man, she's like in her 30s now, and she said when she was a young girl, they had the same symptoms over there, like the same symptoms as COVID or whatever. And she said their whole family, like everybody out there, took ivermectin, and it healed them up like within like a week.
You ever get COVID?
No, never got it.
You never got it. So you never had to take the ivermectin? You just knew about it?
No. I've taken it for other stuff. What I did was I went to Mexico and I stockpiled it because a lot of my family members and stuff was getting it. My son got it 3 times.
Really?
And because he kept training throughout.
And you went there and brought back the ivermectin?
Well, one of my friends worked there and stuff, and he'd bring a little bit at a time.
Right.
So I still have some. I stockpiled it just in case I did get COVID or whatever.
Side note: you ever go to Mexico and you walk by the the pharmacies or whatever, and it'll just have a full list of like growth hormone, testosterone, like all the drugs that you would love to get fucked up on. Like, you ever tap in with that?
No, I see it. I see it. I see it all the time. But I be too scared to bring some of this stuff back across the border, so I don't fuck with it. But I was in Thailand, same thing.
Really?
That pharmacy, you can go get anything.
Right.
Yeah, it's wild.
Going on a little growth hormone vacation.
Yeah, you can do, but it takes like what? I heard it takes like 6 weeks.
It takes a long time to kick in, I think. Yeah.
But hey, I don't think it should be. I think it should be like that for us though, because growth, if you take it responsibly, I think it's good for you.
But do you think that if that was the case, because already, like, I went to my friend's gym recently, my boy Bradley Martin, and he's got a gym that a lot of like bodybuilder type dudes work out on. Clearly, these dudes are not having any kind of problems getting testosterone and growth hormone, whatever the hell they're on. You think that the laws should be different?
Yeah, I think the laws should be different. I don't agree with people taking steroids because I don't understand it. I don't know what it is, but testosterone, yeah, our body produces testosterone. I think that well, you can get it prescribed.
It's essentially the same thing, right? When people do steroids, they're just shooting up synthetic testosterone.
Well, I think from the little bit I do know about it, it's just a different molecule or something that makes it steroids.
Right.
So I don't know much about it. I've never taken steroids, but I have taken testosterone.
But I've like in this, LA world of high-priced doctors and stuff that I'm sure you've been exposed to at least a little bit too. I've had plenty of people tell me like, yeah, I got this doctor in Beverly Hills. He'll get you loaded up off growth hormone, whatever kind of diet shit that you need prescribed, et cetera. Those new diabetic shots, you heard about those?
Oh yeah, I have.
That's what the Kardashians are on and shit.
Yeah, I heard about that. I forgot the name of it. Wegovy or something.
Ozempic.
Yeah, Ozempic and Wegovy, the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of my friends, he's a big guy. He does that, and he told me about it.
I keep finding out about more and more normal people who are on it, and apparently that the health risks aren't that bad, so people are actually like really loving this shit.
I thought it was only for people that needed to lose like 100 pounds or something. I didn't think it worked for people.
That's what it's supposed to be for, is people who are like really obese. Now you got people who want to lose 10 pounds, so they start taking it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good for them, though. I don't know how it is. But, yeah, you can get prescribed almost anything here, but you know how America is. You got to make that money. It's not like at the pharmacy, you just walk in the front, like the doctor, everybody got to make their money off of it.
But I'm just saying, like, there's a kind of like asymmetry here where rich people in Hollywood can go to these doctors and just get it if they're willing to cost some money. But then meanwhile, some gym in Ohio or whatever, they got like an underground steroid dealer and he's getting busted and shit. Yeah. So it's a situation where like rich people are getting to take part in all this shit carefree, and then like poor people are the ones actually taking the risks and shit.
Yeah, it fucking sucks, man. Yeah, it fucking sucks, I tell you.
That is a weird thing.
It's a weird thing. But you can get prescribed almost anything except for, I don't think you can get steroids prescribed, though. Not anabolical.
But you can get, testosterone replacement therapy relatively easily these days, I'm pretty sure. But again, that's rich people shit. Like, poor people can't afford that.
No, you're right, because it is expensive.
But as you get older, have you had that conversation with your doctor? How's your testosterone doing in general?
Well, the last time I tested it was really low, and I got put on testosterone. Really? Yeah, it was in the 200s.
And so you were just on it for a period of time, or you're still on it?
I'm still on it.
And how is that?
It helps. It helps. I'm on a real low dose because I'm not trying to be I'm not trying to get my levels up to 1200. So I'm on like a real low dose because I'm not really fighting and stuff right now. Right. And then when I do fight, I don't think I can take testosterone anymore.
You have to get off it.
I think I have to get off it because it used to be okay, but
for a while there.
Then a couple of fighters abused it. But I think if I have a doctor note, I might be able to take it.
Yo, we just hit 400,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. So if you want to help us out, click subscribe, get us to 500K. Yeah.